Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is my game War in the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my email match against Xargun and his ally commander, and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is game version 26B on 26B standard stock scenario 1, no mods. 6th of July 42, and the first week of the month was not really too active. No gain, no loss. For both of us, I think I sunk maybe or damaged some submarines, but also lost some of my Nell and Betty sub-hunters. So this is a submarine in shallow water, because this submarine is on the way back to port of Colombo, and there is not a really good function to avoid shallow water. Normally this button is missing, that you can say more or less, so only travel in shallow water or try. This is more or less possible with coastal travel, but the opposite is missing. So I want to return to restock fuel and torpedoes, and now I get 3 hits on my submarine. Not a good start. This is IO. I sent here my submarine to scout because I saw that the airfield is building up. And I can see ships in port, or in the hex at least. So there is really something. I sweep the hex. That is fine. Same here. So far everything normal. Fine. Standard bombardment at 5,000 feet. No enemy flag. Also nothing here. So a normal day in the war. But now something happened. Because yesterday I found, or I was not able to hit anything at 10,000 feet. So I say, okay, let's try to go 5,000 feet like in China. But now you can see the enemy flag is suddenly active, and I'm losing here a half dozen of my aircraft. Not really all destroyed, but all damaged and maybe forced to return, and these are all unprotected aircraft, so I will have very high ops losses. So I guess between 5 and 15 aircraft maybe damaged or destroyed here. This is the difference between 10,000 no flag and 5,000 good flag. Now also the British coming out of Calcutta, attacking me here. But this is more or less the same situation. But Xargun attacking us 15,000 feet, so even higher, avoiding all flag, more or less. So not a really good day for me. Now second attack, or second submarine gets attacked in shallow water, and luckily they don't really have good skills. Still 2 hits on my submarine, and every hit is 1 hit too much for Japanese submarines. So I have maybe to return to port again. But the scouting mission was at least successful. I know there's an enemy task force So I can maybe prepare something for the future. Or not. It's at the edge, it's really at the southeast corner of the map, and I don't have too much I can run at that area. Good. So I get my airfield of level 8, port of level 8, everything's upgrading, fine. So the only really pity is with the shallow water submarine at India, okay, but this was at least not crippled. What was a disaster was my airstrike. I come at 5,000, I have high air losses now, and I don't inflict any casualties, so it's not really changing much if you fly 5,000 or 10,000 if it's jungle. So air losses are very shitty for me today, 0 to 16. So, and these are all true numbers. So I lost 6 lilies, flak and ops 50-50. Sallies, they all get immediately destroyed by flak. So the difference is flak don't must be killed over the hex, even if they, after the bombardment is done, the airplane always tried or must return to the original airport or airfield. And every hex you travel, you have this check. And depending on how skillful is your pilot, how durable your airplane is, and how far is the distance, you can still fail to reach the base. If you reach the base, the hex, then you can still make it a crash landing, or the calculation is that the durability is too low, then you have a written op. So if you make a crash landing, it's ops losses. If the airplane is too damaged, it's written off. But if you cannot reach your original airport, airfield, then it's still a flag loss. So I guess that over the hex I maybe lost 3, but on the way back I lost much more. On top of this I also have here some Oscars, sweeping, ops losses. So these are maybe all aircraft landing accidents, plus here some other aircraft. So out of 16 airframes lost, airframes are really not a big issue for Japan, at least now, not more in summer. But pilots, so I lost 9 pilots, all killed. No wounded, no missing. Good. Or not good. At least, no, not good. I also sunk nothing. China, no real change here. This was all standard. Of course, it's now a little hard to find where is Oscars missing. You can only check always every air wing and see if the first numbers are changing, because only the first numbers is the last turn. And then I can see here nothing. So out of this airport I lost no aircraft. So maybe something here. You can also use this button. No. So then it's maybe all Burma. So I have 2 airfields in Burma, Rangoon, and here in the north is Macquarie. And you can see this air wing lost this air wing lost 2 aircraft, both ops, and 1 pilot dead. How this can happen? Naja, airframes I have more or less unlimited. And these are all army pilots, so I would also say not a big issue. Army pilots, fighter pilots, you can see I have 104 guys here. Not all are 100% trained, but the air skill is all at least 70, and the defense skill is, here the last half dozen is not finished, they need training. But I have roughly 100 pilots in backup, I could say they are frontline ready. So of course I need only 1 pilot. Oops. And done. So that was easy, still a little unlucky. This air wing lost nothing, and here's even 1 pilot too much. Sometimes I can see it. Then I always call for the most shitty one. It can be air or defense, so I say the last one, go out. Because you can always have 1/3 of pilots over the amount of aircraft. You can have more, but I think it's simply not needed. And the rest is fine. So I lost here some airframes, but the bombers are coming all over in Boden. This airframe is fine. Here. This airframe lost 5 pilots. And you can see 27 airframes, 22 are only left, so 5 airframes are missing. And you can see the high numbers of flag losses, and all 5 pilots are lost. Tja, what I can do? I give them 5 more. Then I say, no, better go for rest today. Because these losses also have inflict on morale. Of course, I also need some more pilots. So I say, okay, give me more pilots. Bomber, I have here 154 bombers, pilots. If they're all ready, I'm not so sure, but I have here ground attack, yeah, more or less the half last doesn't this again not finish. So I will go for max defense, make a short check if it's okay. Yeah, this looks all fine, so I give the 5 new pilots, active and done. So now the air wing is at overcapacity, 1/3 over airframes. More you don't need. This will normally allow you to never run in fatigue level issues. If you have 1/3 backup pilots, you can run your aircraft on non-stop on action. The airframes would maybe suffer over time. Then you can always give 3 additional aircraft for backup. Then they will rotate this damaged aircraft out. But it's not a must. I don't really do this so often. This airframe lost 3 pilots and also 5 airframes. Not good. So at least only 5 airframes lost. Well, 5 airframes lost, but only 3 pilots dead. So could be worse. So I ask here again, give me more pilots. And I always use only reserve. I don't use group reserve. I think this is simply one level of complexity the game don't need. I see no advantage in this. There is some advantage, but it's so special that I ignore it. So give me my 3 pilots, yes, and fine. And done. And I don't know where I lost my transport airplanes. I really don't know. Not here. So strange. I only want transport normally to Chengdu. Transport? So maybe I lost the... Yeah, I maybe... Here I lost the airframe. Tuck. No. Anyway. So that was really a bloody day for me. I think this one was highest bomber loss in months for me, and they are more or less all self-inflicted. I don't know exactly if he's not more moving, he stopped moving. Maybe there was just a flag unit come inside the hex, and before the flag was only, because I think it was before 7 units or 8 units. I don't know. I don't know with the number of the guns if this changed. Doesn't matter. My pickup forces is on the way. So tomorrow I will be here. The day after tomorrow I can be arriving in Akyab. And if I'm a little lucky, Xargun is still bombarding here the hex. And if I come here with my carriers, with local cap, I can maybe kill his bombers and then I have full launch. Then I will pick up my Navy Guard unit and the Thai can walk. Because Thai units they cannot pick up. Yeah, this was maybe I cannot pick up this unit by amphibious assault because this is a restricted unit. They are only allowed to walk around. Or better to say, restricted units are not allowed to enter a ship. I think this is maybe the better explanation. This submarine was on the way to return, but now I get here damage. Luckily it's no major damage, only system damage more or less. So I try to avoid now the shallow water, make waypoint, and then it's fine. The other submarine is here at IO. Also only light damage luckily, but still it's enough. I get my information. I know there are some task forces, so APs, destroyers, a potential prey, but I have no ships ready. My destroyer task force is just coming back, need fuel, need repair. So I need at least 1 week to prepare my new task force. And who knows how long Xargun will be in the area. So, anything else? Not really. Purse looks fine. I will make a special episode and then I make the tracker and then I can maybe explain a little more about logistics or so on. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.